Hello and welcome to this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. For those of you who haven't seen these videos before, welcome. And welcome back if you have. I just want to start out by saying that, of course, my intention is to be in oneness and essentially to raise the frequency and the vibration with one another and on Mother Earth. And that this video, as with all of the videos that I do, be in alignment with benevolence for all. So having said that, these videos are meant to be felt, not necessarily watched, so feel, listen, and all of that. I just did a video in my car, and I'm not going to post it because I was interrupted halfway through, but we're in a definite energy surge right now. It's about 3 o'clock on the 1st of March, 3/3, and essentially about an hour ago, I guesstimate maybe 2 o'clock. Now this is Eastern Standard Time, and it can be different for everyone, but I felt like I happened to be shopping at Trader Joe's, which I love, and I'm at Trader Joe's, and all of a sudden it felt like the floor kind of dropped out from underneath me, and I went, that's interesting. That happens a lot to me. This whole week's been very interesting for quite a few people that I've worked with, that I work with, that I do sessions with, and friends and family and whatnot. But essentially, I'll come back to that in a minute. So let's just go into the energies. The messages that came through, I was watching, so I'll just back up. In my video, I was kind of moving my hair around because it was electric, like my hair was standing up on end. And there was some messages coming through about the photonic belt, and I saw like basically the hands of God, just hands, but I saw it as the hands of God taking a car charger, you do to jumpstart a battery, and just plugging it into Earth and saying, here you go, we're going to give you a little jump start. And I saw people just kind of going crazy on my way home, and I see crazy drivers all the time. But I was seeing people just like more so than usual, if that's possible, just in their own little worlds. And I want to say that while we're going through these energies, it's really important, all of you starseeds out there that are watching this, to try to stabilize these energies, because not everybody knows how. Not everybody understands what's going on. And not everybody, it's not that they can't, it's just that they don't know how. So I'm seeing people like pull over to look for something, and they're not pulled completely off the side of the road. I'm seeing people go to make a left-hand turn, and then they never quite get over into the lane that they're supposed to get in to make the turn. I'm seeing people sit out in front of grocery stores and just sit there, oblivious of everybody else around them, backing cars up for miles. I'm seeing people just in their own little bubble. And so there's that bumper sticker, world peace begins with your turn signal. It is a little bit about paying attention to the little stuff right now and being very cognizant that not everybody around you is paying attention. So we have to really be patient with one another, but also doing our best to, it's not a matter of following the rules, it's a matter of being patient with ourselves, but also being thoughtful. So realize that not everybody's very thoughtful right now. So that's one thing. As I was rubbing my head and doing this video, like, wow, the electricity is going crazy in my hair right now, I drive by and I see a man who walks around who's a little bit like the lead singer of Pink Floyd. Most of Pink Floyd's music is written around Sid, I think his name was. Can't remember his last name. I love the band Pink Floyd. And they wrote a lot of their music based around this man who was a lead singer originally, or he was a drummer, I believe, of Pink Floyd. And he just did too many drugs, psychedelics, and his mind went and never quite came back. So I just was drawn to this man that I saw walking, and he was, as I was doing it, he was doing it. He was rubbing his head and just looking around, and then he just kind of leaned down and was like playing with the grass. Usually I see him walking. I never see him, you know, stopping to really do anything, and I thought that that was interesting. It was a little bit of synchronistic for me, and it was a reminder that now he was doing what he felt he needed to do in that moment, which was get connected with the earth and get grounded. And it was a representative to me too, because as I'm seeing these energies come in and seeing people just lose it, it was a reminder that people are not necessarily, sorry, I've got something in my eye, not necessarily going to understand what's going on. And so there's people that might have chemical imbalances. They might have some trauma going on, something going on in their life. They're not necessarily, it might get worse for them. Sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. And so what I also saw was stirring the pot. So as we get jumped with these electrical cables, it's going to create a charge, right? And so think of this heavy frequency. Let's think of a magnet being glued to our bodies, and let's say we're metal, and the magnets are all stuck to us. And all of a sudden these jumper cables are applied, and all that loose magnetic stuff floats off for a minute. And all of a sudden it's around in our field, and let's call that loose stuff particles, dirt, shadow, elements. It doesn't have anything to stick to. I did a video about this well, I can't remember, but I did it a few months back when we had another huge activation. And the way that it was described to me was I saw a scuba diver who was scuba diving at the bottom of a lake or the ocean. And if you've ever dove to the bottom of a lake or water, and you go to move your hand, all this dust comes up. And all of a sudden, it might have been crystal clear, right? And you could see for miles, but then all of a sudden you kick up that dust, and even though things are right in front of you, you can't see that they're right in front of you because the dust is now, you know, your visibility has gone from open visibility to zero visibility. And so I'm being reminded to share with you guys, the dust is being kicked up. Don't be confused by it. Stay on course. Stay in your hearts. Be patient with yourself. The dust that's being kicked up is also going to stir up, as these activations occur, it can stir up things in our body. For example, me, hear my throat? Throat's coming up again. I'm clearing more things, either for the collective, yes, and for myself. And old things, sometimes things have to break down before they can be renewed and recycled. So it's just like your immune system sometimes. In order to build your immune system, sometimes things have to be stirred up so that they can be released and that you can get the upgrades, downloads, whatever it is that you want to call it. Also, so a lot of stuff's being stirred up. So don't be surprised if old things resurface again. And I know a lot of you guys out there, or some of you guys out there might be going, really, again? Yes, it is recycling. It's stirring the pot. It's assisting us to stir the soup, to integrate the ingredients, to let the fat bubble to the surface so that it can be skimmed off the top and then dumped into what I'd seen in my other video, which was, I saw people a few days ago being, so I talked about this in my last video, timelines collapsing. So big events, big traumatic timelines for people from the past, or, so I'll get to that in a second, that are clearing from the collective. People are getting sucked into those patterns that were associated with those timelines. So let's say those were victim-victimizer timelines, okay? they might be get sucked back into victim. And they feel like they can't get out of this. I saw it as not a tornado, but a whirlpool. And so they get sucked into this whirlpool, and we're helping to stabilize these energies so that they can get themselves out of that whirlpool and not get sucked off into recycle mode into other parts of the galaxy. I'm just using that as an analogy, although I'm sure some of that's pretty realistic as well. Okay, the other thing that I saw is that there were these other forces. I'm hearing the Beastie Boys, and I don't know. Oh, no, it's not. It's, I'll come back to that in a moment. It's not the Beastie Boys. It's another song I haven't heard in a long time. Rage Against the Machine. Huh. All right, so I'm hearing a song by Rage Against the Machine. I can't remember which one it is. I'll have to post it later if I remember. Either way, I'm hearing that's a play on words. So people are going to rage against this. Also, though, it's stirring the pot so that, again, trauma can be released. Trauma can be realized and recognized so that it can be integrated, so that it can be seen, so that it can be experienced and not pushed away and pretending like it isn't there when it is. So it's rearing its ugly head in the form of dis-ease, discomfort. This is the dark side of it. And I am being invited to share that the dark isn't bad, it's just dark. So sometimes those things have to be stirred up so that they can be, again, skimmed off the top and used for another recipe. Absorbed, integrated, you know. So, okay, I see that there were seeds, and so again, I'm going to use my analogy of us being magnets. All these particles were stuck to us out of magnetic, you know, have you ever seen an Etch-a-Sketch? So we're an Etch-a-Sketch, and there's all this magnet metal that's stuck to us, and now we've been zapped with this electrical energy. The little Etch-a-Sketch particles have lifted, and some of us, even though it seems foggy for a moment because we can't see through all those particles, at the same time it can feel a little like, lighter. Like, whoa, what just happened? And so don't misinterpret what that is. Sometimes feeling lighter can be scarier or disarming for people. It might make you feel a little wobbly. And then you can't see, like, why am I feeling this way? What's going on? It must be bad. Try not to label it and just kind of float and go with it a little bit, because it'll all balance out and harmonize. But the more that you feed into the fear or it must be this or judgment of why you're feeling this way, I must have done something wrong. I'm going through ascension symptoms. It must be that I've karmically aligned with something, blah, blah, blah. You guys get it. Again, I'm being reminded to say it's blah, blah, blah. It's all noise. So when these particles get blown off of us, they're looking for a place to land. And so they're creating noise and disharmony all around us. I'll be done in just a minute. And as they create this noise and disharmony all around us, it distracts us and it makes us feel off balance. But in all reality, that's just white noise. That's just particles that are being accelerated to shift into a different field. And so they're going to want to anchor into something. So for those people that are already in this vortex of negativity, they might anchor onto them even more. Or they might try to anchor onto us for a little bit, and then when we recognize what's going on, we can empower ourselves to say no. So some of the affirmations I use are, I clear all energy that is not in alignment with benevolence for all now from my fields. I clear all energy from my body that is not in alignment with benevolence for all. You know, I am sovereign is a big one. SOVER S-O-V-E-I-G-N. I hope I spelled that right. Sovereign. S-O-V-E-R-E-I-G-N. So we're going to do a little energy, light language to help with this influx that we're getting, and maybe a little message will come through. And then I'm going to end on that note. So this is with my intention to assist in helping you clear your fields. But recognize that this is all part of the process. And you can even set your intention, as I talked about in my other video, day before yesterday or yesterday, stabilize. Or maybe that was today. I don't know. It's all rubbing together. Ora et anrastashtarak unoshtarak estashtarak oa. Ora narahet anrastashtarak kinder et anrishtet inrehester anra ok onoro oroam. Ora hestashtarak kindra annae annarannae annarannae. Otra hestashtarak kinder. Istanakur ok onor ok enrehetindra. Doro ok onarsta otors et inishtarakini it enrahashtarakundostre hindra. Doro hostre. Dorostara kinder. Dostar kinder at ashtarakundostre kinder hat anra ak anarhur atena. Doro ok onrostre kinder hetra dorst et inrehestanakundost. Breathing in and out, letting this energy integrate. Lots of big energies and frequencies coming in, guys. So the energies that are coming in do not have to be through sound. Just focus on the breathing and allowing this energy to come in through the collective, for the collective. Dorostashtarakit andar ak andar hashtarak ur et andar hastashtarak ur dara astashtarak utoshtarakini strahatoshtarakini dara agunoshtarakini dara akandara ashtarakini ar. Just breathing. Or at andra. Or okonor. Or sta or. Or hestashtra kindera. Or hestashtra kinder ashtra kinina. Et enrestara gur. Just focus on your breath. I'm just allowing these energies to come through. We're almost done. Bara estashtra kindera. Ora hetindra estashtra kindera. Ora stishtra kindera. Dilnara. And so it is. Whew. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. In love and light, namaste.